In a time of great turmoil, Kofi and his village of Ilesha face a chilling threat from dark magic unleashed by a rival village. As strange occurrences and sinister symbols plague their community, Kofi, with unwavering courage, uncovers a hidden ritual intended to bring their downfall. With the village's future hanging in the balance, Kofi leads a powerful cleansing ceremony to dispel the malevolent forces. His leadership and the village's unity are put to the ultimate test in a dramatic battle against darkness. The climax of this journey reveals how their strength and solidarity transform their lives forever. In the heart of the vibrant village of Ilesha, lived a man named Kofi. Kofi was known throughout the village for his kind heart and wise words, but he had one secret that no one knew: he was still a virgin at the age of 38. Kofi's life was simple but fulfilling. He worked as a farmer and spent his evenings teaching children in the village school. He was content with his life, but the villagers often whispered behind his back, wondering why he had never married. One day, a new family moved into the village. The young woman, Amma, was stunning and full of life. She was the talk of the village, and soon, Kofi found himself drawn to her. Amma was kind, beautiful, and had a gentle spirit that captured Kofi's heart. Kofi's friend, Tunde, noticed Kofi's interest in Amma. Tunde was always up for a bit of mischief and decided to tease Kofi about his feelings. "Kofi, it seems you're smitten by Amma. When will you finally take a step forward?" Tunde would jest. Kofi would smile shyly, not knowing how to respond. He had always been afraid of the unknown, especially when it came to relationships. His parents had taught him that love and marriage were sacred, and he was hesitant to make a move without being sure of his feelings. Amma, meanwhile, was also curious about Kofi. She had heard of his reputation as a wise and kind man but knew nothing about his personal life. One afternoon, while fetching water from the village well, Amma and Kofi bumped into each other. They exchanged polite greetings and, to Kofi's surprise, Amma invited him to visit her family. Kofi was both nervous and excited. He spent the whole night preparing for the visit, making sure his traditional attire was pristine and clean. He wanted to make a good impression on Amma's family. When Kofi arrived at Amma's home, he was welcomed with warmth. Amma's mother, Essie, was a gracious hostess, and her father, Kwame, was a wise and respected elder. The evening was filled with laughter and traditional music, and Kofi felt more at ease as time passed. As the days went by, Kofi and Amma spent more time together. They went on walks, shared stories, and found comfort in each other's company. Kofi was falling deeper in love with Amma, but he still struggled with his fear of the unknown. He often wondered if he was ready for the responsibilities of marriage. Amma, too, had her doubts. She was aware of Kofi's reputation but had never spoken to him about it. One day, as they sat under the shade of a large baobab tree, she decided to ask him directly. "Kofi, I need to know, why are you still single at your age?" Kofi was taken aback. He hesitated before speaking. "Amma, I have always believed that marriage is a sacred bond. I wanted to be sure of my feelings before taking such a step. I am afraid of making a mistake." Amma looked at Kofi with understanding. "We all have fears, Kofi. What matters is facing them together. If we are to be together, we must support each other through our uncertainties." Her words gave Kofi hope. He realized that Amma was not only beautiful but also wise and compassionate. He decided to take a leap of faith and express his feelings. He spoke to Amma's parents and asked for their blessing to marry their daughter. Essie and Kwame were pleased with Kofi's sincerity and granted their blessing. The village was abuzz with excitement as preparations for the wedding began. Kofi and Amma worked together to plan the ceremony, and the village came together to support them. On the day of the wedding, the village was decorated with colorful fabrics and traditional artifacts. The ceremony was a beautiful blend of customs and rituals, and Kofi and Amma exchanged their vows in the presence of their loved ones. As Kofi and Amma started their new life together, they faced challenges and joys, but their love for each other helped them overcome any obstacles. Kofi realized that love was not about perfection but about understanding, support, and commitment. Years later, Kofi would look back on his life with Amma and smile, knowing that his decision to wait for the right person had been worth it. Their love story became a cherished tale in Ilesha, inspiring others to follow their hearts and embrace love with courage and patience. Life in the village of Ilesha blossomed for Kofi and Amma as they settled into their new life together. Their home became a place of joy and harmony, filled with laughter and love. However, their journey was not without its trials. Soon after their marriage, Amma became pregnant. The village celebrated the news with great enthusiasm, and Kofi was overjoyed. Yet, as the months went by, Amma began to face complications with her pregnancy. The once joyful anticipation turned into a time of worry and uncertainty. Kofi stayed by Amma's side, attending to her every need. He sought the help of the village healer, Yor, who was known for his wisdom and skill. Yor advised Kofi to make offerings to the gods and seek their blessings for a safe delivery. One night, as Kofi performed the ritual offerings in front of his home, he noticed a strange figure watching from the shadows. The figure was cloaked and did not move, creating a sense of unease in Kofi. Determined to protect his family, Kofi approached the figure, but it disappeared into the night before he could get a closer look. Amma's condition improved slightly after the offerings, but Kofi's mind remained troubled by the mysterious figure. He confided in Tunde, who suggested that the figure might be a sign of envy or ill intentions from someone in the village. Kofi decided to investigate further. He spoke to various villagers, including the elder, Kwame, and learned of an old story about a curse placed on anyone who was suspected of having ill intentions towards a newlywed couple. According to the legend, the curse would bring misfortune unless the wrongdoer confessed and sought forgiveness. Determined to protect his family, Kofi set out to find the truth behind the mysterious figure. He revisited the scene of the ritual offerings and discovered strange footprints leading into the forest. With a mixture of fear and resolve, Kofi followed the tracks, hoping to uncover the truth. In the heart of the forest, Kofi stumbled upon an old, abandoned hut. Inside, he found evidence of recent activity, charms, and symbols that matched those used in the ritual. His heart raced as he realized that someone had been using these items for dark purposes. Kofi returned to the village and confronted Yor, the healer, who had been acting suspiciously. Yor admitted that he had been influenced by jealousy and greed, feeling overshadowed by Kofi's growing reputation. He confessed to trying to use dark magic to create obstacles for Kofi and Amma. The village was shocked by Yor's confession. The elders, including Kwame, held a meeting to address the situation. Yor was forgiven but was banished from Ilesha, as his actions had endangered the village's harmony. With the threat neutralized, Amma's health continued to improve. The couple prepared for the arrival of their baby with renewed hope and joy. When Amma finally gave birth, the village celebrated the new life with a grand feast and traditional ceremonies. As Kofi held his newborn child, he felt a deep sense of fulfillment. He realized that the journey to find love and overcome obstacles had made him stronger and more grateful for the blessings in his life. Years passed, and Kofi and Amma's family grew. Their home was filled with the laughter of children and the warmth of shared love. They continued to live in harmony with the village, teaching their children the values of kindness, perseverance, and the importance of facing challenges with courage. Their story became a cherished legend in Ilesha, inspiring many with its message of hope, resilience, and the power of love. Kofi's experience taught him that true happiness comes not just from achieving one's dreams but from overcoming the trials along the way. Years flowed like the river through Ilesha, carrying with them new stories and adventures for Kofi and Amma. Their children grew up in a village steeped in tradition, where every festival, every dance, and every story carried lessons of the past. The family thrived, and their home became a beacon of hope and happiness. However, life in Ilesha was not always serene. One day, news arrived that a neighboring village, Ose, had suffered a severe drought. The crops had withered, and the people faced starvation. Kofi, ever compassionate, felt compelled to help. He gathered food, clothing, and supplies to send to Ose, and he led a group of villagers to deliver the aid. As they arrived in Ose, they were met with gratitude but also with suspicion. The chief of Ose, Nanakwaku, was wary of outsiders. He had heard of Ilesha's prosperity and feared that the aid might come with hidden motives. Kofi, with his gentle demeanor, spoke with Nanakwaku, explaining their intention to help without expecting anything in return. Nanakwaku listened but remained cautious. He requested that Kofi and his team stay in Ose for a few days to help the villagers and witness the harsh conditions firsthand. Kofi agreed, and during their stay, he worked alongside the villagers, helping to repair wells and distribute food. As the days passed, Kofi's sincerity won over the hearts of the Ose people. They began to open up about their troubles, and Kofi learned that their problems were compounded by a recent conflict with a rival village, which had stolen their water supply. Determined to help, Kofi suggested organizing a meeting with the rival village, hoping to negotiate a peaceful resolution. Nanakwaku reluctantly agreed, and Kofi, along with a delegation from both villages, traveled to the rival village, called Asante. The journey was long and fraught with tension. When they arrived in Asante, they were met by the rival chief, Ose Tutu. Ose Tutu was known for his fierce reputation and was initially hostile. Kofi stepped forward, speaking with calm and respect, and proposed a fair trade of resources between the two villages. The meeting was tense, but Kofi's words began to make an impact. He spoke of unity and the shared benefits of cooperation rather than conflict. Slowly, Ose Tutu's demeanor softened. The discussion extended into the night, and eventually, an agreement was reached. Both villages would share their resources and work together to rebuild the damaged wells and crops. With the conflict resolved, the villagers from Ose and Asante worked side by side, repairing the damage and restoring their livelihoods. The success of the negotiations led to a newfound friendship between the villagers, and Kofi's reputation as a peacemaker grew. Back in Ilesha, Amma managed the home and their growing children with grace. The village celebrated Kofi's return with a grand feast, honoring him for his efforts. Kofi shared his experiences and the importance of working together, reinforcing the values of kindness and collaboration. The bond between Ilesha, Ose, and Asante continued to strengthen, and Kofi's actions became a part of the village lore. His story was passed down through generations as a lesson in empathy, courage, and the power of diplomacy. As Kofi and Amma grew older, they enjoyed watching their children blossom into adults and continue the legacy of love and harmony they had built. Their family remained a symbol of hope and unity in Ilesha, inspiring others to seek peace and support one another. Kofi's life had come full circle, from a solitary, cautious man to a revered elder whose actions had bridged divides and fostered lasting friendships. His journey, once marked by uncertainty, had blossomed into a legacy of compassion and leadership. Years continued to weave their tapestry across Ilesha, bringing both challenges and joys. Kofi and Amma's family flourished, and their children grew into strong, responsible adults, each finding their path in life. But the village was soon to face a new trial that would test their unity and resilience. One day, a series of strange occurrences began in Ilesha. Livestock went missing, crops were mysteriously damaged, and an unsettling feeling hung over the village. The once peaceful community was now filled with unease. Kofi, now an elder, took it upon himself to investigate the disturbances. He called a meeting with the village council, including Kwame and other respected elders. They discussed the recent events and decided to form a group to uncover the cause of the misfortune. Kofi led the investigation, determined to restore peace to his beloved village. As they delved into the mystery, Kofi and his team discovered unsettling clues, strange symbols carved into the ground and eerie sounds in the night. The symbols resembled those associated with ancient curses and dark magic. The villagers grew increasingly fearful, suspecting that someone was using these practices to harm them. One evening, Kofi and his team found themselves in the forest, where they had heard the eerie sounds. They followed the noises to a hidden clearing, where they stumbled upon a clandestine gathering of people dressed in dark robes. These individuals were performing a ritual that involved chanting and symbolic offerings. Kofi and his team observed from a distance, realizing that the ritual was meant to invoke negative forces to bring harm to Ilesha. The group conducting the ritual was from a rival village that had been envious of Ilesha's prosperity and had decided to use dark magic to disrupt their peace. Kofi knew they needed to act quickly. He and his team returned to Ilesha and shared their findings with the village council. The elders agreed to seek help from the spiritual leaders, including Yor, who had returned to the village after his banishment. Yor, having repented for his previous actions, offered to help cleanse the village of the dark magic. The villagers gathered for a cleansing ceremony led by Yor, where traditional prayers and rituals were performed to dispel the negative forces. The ceremony was intense and filled with both hope and fear. Kofi stood by Amma and their children, praying for the safety and protection of their community. After the ceremony, the disturbances in the village ceased. The livestock returned, and the crops began to recover. The village of Ilesha slowly returned to its peaceful state, and the bond among its people grew stronger. In the aftermath, Kofi reflected on the events and realized that their strength as a community lay in their unity and trust. He shared his insights with the villagers, emphasizing the importance of standing together in the face of adversity. Kofi's children, inspired by their father's wisdom and bravery, took on roles of leadership in the village, helping to guide Ilesha through future challenges. They continued to uphold the values of kindness, cooperation, and resilience that Kofi and Amma had instilled in them. As Kofi and Amma aged gracefully, they found joy in seeing their family thrive and their village prosper. Their story became a testament to the power of unity and the importance of addressing challenges with courage and compassion. Years later, as Kofi and Amma sat together under the shade of the baobab tree where they had first shared their hopes and dreams, they looked back on their lives with gratitude. They had faced trials, celebrated triumphs, and built a legacy of love and harmony that would be remembered for generations to come. The village of Ilesha continued to flourish, with Kofi's story becoming a cherished part of its heritage. His journey from a cautious young man to a revered elder and leader was a source of inspiration for all who knew him. As the seasons turned, Ilesha thrived under the watchful eyes of Kofi, Amma, and their family. The village, once tested by trials and dark magic, had emerged stronger and more united. Kofi's children grew into wise leaders, embodying the values their parents had cherished. One day, as Kofi and Amma walked through the village, they saw their children and the younger generation working together on new projects, like improving agricultural techniques and building communal spaces. The village had become a model of progress and unity, attracting visitors from nearby regions who came to learn from Ilesha's success. Kofi, now well into his 70s, decided it was time to pass on his role as a leader. He called a village meeting and shared his thoughts with the community. He spoke of the importance of continuing to uphold the values of unity, compassion, and resilience. With tears of pride in his eyes, he officially passed on the mantle of leadership to his children, confident that the village's future was in capable hands. Amma, ever supportive, continued to share her wisdom and love with the village. She was revered as a pillar of strength and kindness, and her influence was felt throughout Ilesha. The village held a grand celebration to honor Kofi and Amma's legacy. There were dances, feasts, and traditional ceremonies. The entire community came together to celebrate the remarkable journey of the couple who had not only transformed their own lives but had also positively impacted the lives of countless others. As the festivities drew to a close, Kofi and Amma took a quiet moment to reflect on their journey. They marveled at how far they had come, from Kofi's cautious beginnings to their shared triumphs and the flourishing village of Ilesha. Their story had become a beacon of hope and inspiration. It was a reminder that even the most challenging obstacles could be overcome with unity, courage, and love. The lessons from their lives were passed down through generations, ensuring that the values they lived by continued to guide the village long after they were gone. As the sun set over Ilesha, casting a golden hue across the land, Kofi and Amma felt a deep sense of fulfillment. Their legacy was not just in the village they had helped build but in the hearts and minds of everyone who had been touched by their story. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through Kofi and Amma's inspiring story. We hope you found their tale as moving and powerful as we did. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more incredible tales and inspiring journeys, be sure to subscribe to our channel so you never miss a new story. Like this video if you enjoyed it and want to support our work. Comment below and share your thoughts about the story or any other tales you'd like to hear. Share this video with friends and family to spread the inspiration and joy. Your support helps us bring more amazing stories to you. Thank you for being part of our community.